Don't you just love to get your dick hard while jerking infinite hours on enemies that aren't even bosses? That makes you lose all your hard-earned souls.
Don't you mean runes, sir? I bet you haven't even played Elden Ring. Do you even know what Dark Souls are?
Relax, relax. I know the lingo. You're so frustrated while playing that the rope you keep ready in your living room tied around the house's bearings starts to look damn tempting to you. But then, a flash of hope, you actually succeed in killing the thing that has been choking your progress for ungodly hours. And what do you feel? This sensational rush through your veins, and I'm not talking about blood or heroin, it is endorphins, my friends, and god damn do they taste good. It's like no other thing. Makes you feel you could do anything. Makes you think you could actually ask that girl for her number at your local coffee shop. Then you move on for a while and meet this and every drop of that sweet, sweet endorphin rush is depleted. And you go back into your living room checking the strength of that news. Why do we repeatedly do this to ourselves? Why do we think that Elden Ring, along with the entire Soul series, are so damn good? It has to do with how your brain is wired, and actually how you wire your brain. I have played my fair share hours of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Elden Ring, at least enough to make my brain go, why is it that I hate this game so much, but I want so badly to spend time in its universe? And I bet you have often felt the exact same way. But why do we feel like this? The game developers behind the Souls games, FromSoftware, has for years perfected the art of manipulating your brain. After years of analyzing, they have seen a hunger amongst gamers, and that hunger is the feeling of accomplishment. I remember back in the days, the glory days of the Xbox 360. What a time to be alive. The feeling when you were able to complete something you have been struggling with for hours, maybe even days, and that sweet achievement sound rang in your ears with the logo following. Satisfaction was running high, endorphins was spiking in your body, and you have never felt better. Xbox and Microsoft understood these principles. Only FromSoftware implemented it inside video games and milked every single drop out of it later. I'm of course talking about the feeling of accomplishment. Almost every game that exists has this element, but not that many game developers are risking the player getting stuck for hours or days in one place like in the Souls games. There are so many games that will actually lower the enemy's damage or difficulty after X amount of failed tries. This is not something you will get told on the screen, but it is a known feature. It is to get the player to overcome difficult tasks right before they want to give up. But this is how the Souls game series are so different. They simply don't care about this, and only the most stubborn players who are willing to kill enemies in one area again and again and again and again in order to level up, get better gear and weapons will succeed. And then you have the players who have mastered the game after their 10,000 hours and can complete the game with no armor or boosts at all. It simply becomes too easy for them, making their endorphins spike less often, not giving them the return that they wished for. So the game developers has to make harder and harder games based on these needs. I can only mention Doom Eternal and Elden Ring as games that had to become even more difficult than their predecessors in order for its community to even bother playing them. Let's break this down. When you are accomplishing something that you have previously seen as something difficult, your brain produces chemicals called endorphins, making you feel good and happy. You also get this after a hard workout, after running, eating your favorite meal, or simply laughing with your friends. Endorphins are so extremely addictive. That's why people have addictions in the first place, because the thing, activity, or substance that they are doing or using gives them this really unexplainable good feeling inside, which is the endorphins running through your nervous system. But when you run out of that endorphin high, you feel down and you want more, often making you repeat what made you feel good in the first place. Now that we have broken that down, we are ready to talk about how this is related to the Souls games. Not every gamer has a healthy relationship with gaming. I will dare to say it's actually the majority of gamers who has unhealthy habits when it comes to gaming. I'm actually guilty of this too. Playing video games can be so much fun at times that you are maybe eating poorly, sleeping at all the wrong hours, or maybe not enough. And all of these causes you to not be in a mood for physical activity. Sleeping at wrong hours will make your body crave more unhealthy types of foods and snacks. You feel an uptick in the want for salty and sugary foods. This kind of lifestyle is making your brain constantly produce endorphins while playing video games and eating unhealthy, but also sends you in an endorphin depletion whenever something is not achieved for a period of time that your body has been used to. And the hunger for endorphins are so strong in us humans that we are willing to sit for hours on end playing the games that are giving us this chemical. And there is no other video games out there right now that has perfected the endorphin activation depletion tactic better than the makers of Dark Souls and Elden Ring. And when its player base is getting their fix of endorphins like no other games out there to this date, of course they are ready to die on the hill saying that this is the best game ever made and it's a masterpiece and its graphics are just stunning. Seen from an outside perspective though, it's really not. I don't love or hate the FromSoftware games, but to call them a masterpiece in storytelling and graphically innovation is to stretch it way too far. I feel that the Dark Souls Elden Ring universe deserves to sooner or later go into book form because goddamn I love the atmosphere and the dark mysterious lore within it. But what makes me so tired is to see these games win awards after awards for so-called innovation when it's just a game that has mastered endorphin activation depletion to its maximum. When you mix that formula with a dark, mysterious gothic setting, which by the way is a setting that has been lacking for years before the Souls games arrived, mixed with lore you have to look for in items and even weapon descriptions and big grandiose boss fights, you get games that gets way overhyped. Not because of how good they really are, but only from the way they made us feel. Even if those feelings are mostly negative throughout the entire playtime, the moments of endorphin rush when you succeed at something in-game is too powerful to make you quit. So why is it that some people has it easier to stop playing it than other types of people? My theory, because that's what this entire thing is, just my theory, is that people who has a more broader lifestyle that includes physical activity and are able to implement healthy habits with their gaming has a huge advantage in being able to understand when the time has come to put down the controller. Because these types of people have so many other sources of endorphin activation that actually is oftentimes stronger than what you get from video games. The dangers are when gaming becomes your only source of endorphins, and this becomes the only thing that you do. If you made it to the end of this video, I want you to comment down below what your experience with games like Dark Souls and Elden Ring has been. But remember, this video wasn't created to hate on these games, but more to make you take a step back and maybe realize what I like to call unprecedented amounts of hype and praise over these games that has one goal in mind: to make you addicted for as long as possible, making their games relevant for as long as possible, even though they are not really that great.